If you're hosting Thanksgiving this year and want to create your own spin on a classic recipe, be prepared to be inspired. Fine Cooking is an award-winning national food magazine, and its online recipe maker is especially helpful for building a holiday menu to suit your taste. Lori Buckle is the editor and joins us here, and this recipe is really on your website.
It is. It's on finecooking.com. We've got lots of great things in the magazine too, but I thought today we would actually show viewers how to make a classic Thanksgiving bread stuffing and use this incredible tool that we have. It's called a recipe maker. A lot more of a video game than an actual recipe. You
so this is on your site.
This is on the website. It's called Recipe Maker Bread Stuffing, and you drag your ingredients into the bowl. You mix everything up, and it gives you a recipe at the end. So we're going to start by making a classic Thanksgiving stuffing, just a very simple, straightforward one, and then we're going to show you how to kick it up a notch and how to kick it up another notch.
How do you make it suit your tastes on your website?
That's what's so great is if you like bacon, don't we all like bacon?
Absolutely.
If you like fruit, like maybe dried cherries or something like that, we're actually going to show you how to make one that has dried pears, bacon, and hazelnuts in it. So you can kind of choose the things that you like and the things that are happening in the rest of your menu, and everything can kind of come together.
And so the website does that for you?
It does.
That's excellent.
It's basically
right, but you're going to do it for us
I'm
right now.
I'm going to give you the real-time version of how to do that. And we're going to start with just the ultimate simple, basic recipe, which I think is so lovely, in its simplicity. I don't know about you, but stuffing is one of my favorite things at Thanksgiving.
It's daunting for me because we generally fry our turkeys, and so I want to have a delicious stuffing on the side, and I haven't found one yet that I really love.
I'm here to save that day.
Okay, great.
I really, I want to encourage everybody to kind of put down the bag. That bag of stuffing that everybody reaches for in the grocery store is nothing compared to how good the basic
we want to stay away from
processed
processed
Stay
food.
away from processed food, because now you can choose your bread, and you can choose your fresh herbs, and you can choose all the seasonings that you like. So it's going to be so much better. And it's just as simple, if not even simpler.
What ingredients are we using today?
Well, we're actually going to start with bread.
Oh, okay.
Bread stuffing. I thought we'd start with bread. We chose to use an artisan loaf, but you could use anything from pumpernickel to rye to sourdough to whole grain, whatever you liked. And you tear it into 3/4 inch cubes.
Oh, you actually tore it. Okay.
Well, I think actually we cut this one. You can either cut it or tear it. I tend to tear, do anything that's easy. I'm fast moving through the kitchen. But you want to make sure it gets dry. So you can either start with kind of stale bread. Actually, this is a great recipe all year long when you end up with stale bread, which I seem to always have in the house.
Stuffing.
Yeah, so it can either be stale bread, or you can leave it out overnight. You can just put it on a cookie sheet and leave it out overnight, and it will go dry. Or you can pop it in the oven, a low oven. Depending on how fresh the bread is, it can take 15 minutes or maybe a half hour, just until it gets, you can feel it. They're like crunchy little squares.
Okay, so our bread is ready.
Exactly. So we're going to start with the bread. To the bread, we are going to, if you want to, you can put the bread in the bowl.
Oh, very good. I'll do that.
And I'm finishing up here a mixture that's called, in French cooking, is called a mirepoix. This is a classic flavor base that goes into a lot of sauces, a lot of dishes, basically chopped celery, chopped onion, and chopped carrot. And that's why it smells so good in here. This is one of those things, if you ever want your kitchen to smell good, just saute a mirepoix.
And you're sauteing it with what? Anything
just
in there?
A little butter and oil.
Okay.
That's all it takes.
I just want to remind everybody at home that we will have this recipe on our website as well. Okay.
Absolutely. It'll be available to everyone at the end.
So that's being sauteed.
Exactly. And this is pretty much done.
You want all of this in here?
Yeah. As much as you think it's going to fit.
Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and put it all in there.
That looks perfect. Okay, then I'm going to stir in the mirepoix.
Okay.
Look how beautiful this is. Oh my goodness, I think I'm going to eat it already.
It smells great.
Doesn't it? You got to love this. Okay.
It's so colorful.
I know, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Add just a little more.
Now,
that's good.
we get to add fresh herbs. When you buy the bag, they're dried herbs and they're not nearly as flavorful. We picked 3 classic Thanksgiving herbs. You can go ahead and add these in if you want.
What is this one?
This one is thyme.
How much of it is here?
You can go ahead and put the whole thing in. I think that's 2 tablespoons, if I remember right. I've got to check the recipe on that.
And then
that one is sage, which is like, I think if there was a smell that it was attached to Thanksgiving, it would be sage. I know, I have to spend some time smelling that before I dive in. And this is just flat leaf parsley, which goes in. So now you've already got that wonderful, you've got the aromatics, you've got the fresh herbs, you've got the great bread.
That's good.
Now go ahead and stir it up.
All right.
Very, just a quick mix together. We're going to season with salt and pepper.
I would probably use my hands.
I probably would too, to be honest with you. I tend to use them for a lot of things like that.
Okay, and you just put how much salt?
About a teaspoon of salt, but you're going to taste in a little bit, and you can add as you choose at that point. Excellent.
Wow.
You can keep stirring. Now I'm going to add chicken stock.
Oh, okay. This will soften everything.
Exactly. On the recipe maker, you can choose liquids. There's white wine, chicken stock. You can, if you want to do a vegetarian version, you can use a vegetable broth.
Now, did you make your own chicken stock? Tell me you didn't make your own chicken stock.
Well, you can, but you certainly don't have to.
Thank you. I would get the organic
mini
chicken
boxes
stock.
in my house.
Thank you. That's what I would be doing.
So there is one trick. You know, people are very particular about the texture of their stuffing, and rightly so. I mean, it has to be creamy and wonderful inside, crispy and crunchy on the outside. So how much of the broth we add is very important in the mix of things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the minimum amount, which is 2 cups.
Okay.
We probably don't have quite the right because of the bread, but we're going to do about half of this.
Okay.
And we're going to see. Now you're going to stir right away.
Okay. And then?
And you're going to take a look.
To see.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing a great job. Let me show you something. Right? So maybe the cameras can see this too. So right away, you can see that the bread is starting to absorb the liquid, but there's a little puddle of stock down here.
Yes.
That's the perfect thing. That's what you want, because now you're going to toss for, maybe a fork's easier since it's getting kind of crunchy. Yeah. You're going to keep tossing for a few minutes, and it will absorb that stock.
We have about 2 minutes.
Exactly. But if you let that pool first, then you realize, okay, I don't need to add more. If it didn't, if it immediately absorbed it, you would add more stock.
Okay, and this would make it softer or crunchier?
This is just going to get it to that by the time you bake it, it's going to be exactly the right temperature.
Okay, right temperature.
So
very good.
Now you can take a bite.
I can take a bite?
Go for it. You can take a bite, because we're going to check seasoning now, because now is the point in the recipe where we really want to say enough salt, enough pepper, enough herbs. Are we happy with this dish?
A little more salt.
Okay.
I can really taste the herbs.
I know, aren't they wonderful?
Very, very strong.
It's really, that's like your
then let's
flavor
go
here.
a little more pepper then.
Okay. Woman after my own heart.
Okay, I think we're good.
So now we're going to add 2 beaten eggs.
Okay.
And this is going to really give us the binding that we need for the finished dish. And this is the point at which you don't want to taste it now, because we're adding raw eggs, obviously.
Okay.
We stir that up. And we turn that mixture into the this greased casserole dish. And we're going to pop it in the oven.
About a minute now.
We're
giving her all these prompts because
we have so many things to talk about.
So many ingredients here. Okay, I'll throw it in
So
there.
I'll jump ahead to the finished dish.
Go ahead, and then I will.
But we're going to bake it first covered so that it kind of steams inside and gets nice and creamy, and then we're going to uncover it. And that means we get a lovely crispy topping with crunchy edges, which I think is probably my favorite part.
Oh, this is great.
And this is what it's going to look like. Oh my. So we'll be eating that. And as I said, this is just the beginning. This is just the classic recipe. I know, exactly. This is what this will look like in about 50 minutes from now.
All right.
But when you go onto the recipe maker, you have such a wonderful opportunity to kick it up a notch. So if we were going to do that, I was thinking, wouldn't it be lovely to add some sautéed apples, some crumbled sausage?
Yes.
So then you have an apple sausage stuffing. Or if you really kind of want to go hog wild, as I want to do, you might want to add bacon, some dried pear, some chopped hazelnuts, some lemon zest.
Which one do we want to do, the sausage or the bacon?
It's also appealing to me. It's the kind of thing on the website where you almost can't decide.
Let's do the apple and the sausage.
Let's want to add some in. Let's do that.
Okay. So where do we put it? Right here?
Let's just go ahead and stir it in, shall we?
So I'll go the sausage.
So it's a great tool, and I think at Thanksgiving, it's a wonderful thing to be able to kind of make it the way you want to make it, or the way your family wants to make it.
So we can
lots
add
of
sausage
opinions
to this?
about flavor.
We can add sausage to this?
Yes, whatever sounds good. Ooh, a double meat stuffing.
A double meat.
I think you have come up with something here.
This is good. Okay, and then that's it, right? And the apples.
Some apples? That sounds good to me, too.
Okay.
You're going
to stick around because we're going to put this in the oven, of course, and then taste the finished product as well.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Again, the recipe, come to our website, click on Connecticut Style. Now, coming up, singer-songwriter Alexis Babini performs. Stick around. Don't miss it.